Welcome to the Worst of the Riot podcast. Coming up, we've found a way to make football interesting, even to non-football fans.
Also, your favorite celebrity couple might be getting engaged sooner than you think. And more on the Worst of the Riot podcast.
You won't hear a show like this anywhere else. And that's probably for the best. The Worst of the Riot, Radio U.
Welcome to Friday. We're getting closer and closer to Valentine's Day, and I have here a new dating trend that is being claimed as harmful leading up to Valentine's Day. Have you ever heard of avalanching?
I'm not familiar with avalanching.
Avalanching is a trend that's all about swiping right through one's chosen dating apps at an exponentially accelerated rate, just so that you can find somebody in time for Valentine's Day. This is being, the idea is that everyone now on the dating apps supposedly is receiving an avalanche of matches and messages compared to what they would receive otherwise, and it's overwhelming to them. It's too much. And how can you find love when you have so many people in your inbox?
So many options. There's too many options.
This is what the dating experts, for example, Sylvia Linzalone, is claiming that this is too much for people, and avalanching is actually a harmful thing, and you need to be more intentional with your dating on the dating apps. You're swiping. You need to have more. Don't throw your standards out the window because you're overwhelming people by swiping right on everybody.
Yeah, but if you're the swipe, I think it's more about the person who's being swiped.
Yeah.
Being overwhelmed than the person who's swiping.
Mm-hmm.
Because for some people, you got to swipe a lot to get a match.
Yeah.
So you can't just be giving up on just going all eggs in one basket on the first person you see on the app.
Yeah, right.
But at the same time, if you're the person who is seeing a million people roll into your inbox, you're going to have to be choosy with who you're messaging, who you're messaging back.
That is true. To me, and maybe this is just based off of my experience, but this is being seen portrayed as a negative, that maybe some choice paralysis could be involved, where you just have so many options suddenly that you're not used to in your inbox on whatever your dating app of choice is, and that's just too much to handle, and that's a negative thing. To me, I feel like unless either you're a person who already is used to that anyways, or you're somebody who if you're not used to getting a lot of attention, it'd be nice to finally feel like you had some choices, because maybe prior, and the reason you're single is because you only got a few matches on there and didn't work out, or you started messaging that weren't exactly that exciting. And so now you've got some options. And so it could be a positive. I think this isn't as bad as they make it sound, as this dating expert makes it sound. Yeah,
it's all about if you're used to getting a lot of matches and having a lot of options or not. Mm-hmm. If you're not used to it, it feels very good. It's a confidence riser.
Yeah.
Makes you feel real good on a Friday.
That's right.
Before the weekend.
And when you feel good, you look good. Look better, I think. The confidence is key, right?
It is key.
Yeah.
No, confidence is key. I agree with you. But I would say if you feel as if you have a lot of options, sometimes too many options is worse. Because then it's never ending. When do you know when to stop? When you get 30 likes in a day, you keep on thinking, you go on a date with somebody, and then you have 6 other guys lined up there, 6 other girls lined up there. And how are you really going to be all in on that one person you went on a date with? When in the back of your mind, it's always going to be, well, maybe the next person's better. Maybe the next person's better. And sometimes you just gotta kind of simmer it down a little bit. You can't have 40 guys waiting, 40 girls waiting at once. When you got all those matches in your inbox, for most people, it's probably closer to 3.
That's an excellent point. And the other thing, too, is if you are getting a massive influx, if you're getting avalanched right now with matches, these aren't going to be the highest quality matches that you might have been getting prior. You might have been getting way less matches previous, but at least there are people that were more interested. These are people that they might have been on the fence about you in the first place, and like, Valentine's Day's coming up. Let's give them a swipe. We'll see what happens. But then even quicker, that can fizzle out. So you got to keep that in mind as well.
And if you're not feeling as if you're getting avalanched, you're just a part of like the 90% of people who also aren't.
Yeah.
Nobody does it better. The Riot Radio U.
Because we've got playoff football Saturday all the way through Monday. Isaiah, tell me your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions as you head in as a Browns fan to your first playoff game in a few years.
For me, this is the first morning that I've had like a little bit of a pit in my stomach. The nerves have started to make their way into my body. That I feel a little nervous this morning, but I have many thoughts on the Browns taking on the Texans. The main thought for me is I'm upset that this isn't a house money game for the Browns. I want them to win this game because if they win this game, then next week, no matter what happens, house money. Doesn't matter what happens. I'll still be upset if we lose.
Yeah.
But I'll be glad that we made it that far. This game feels like a game we should win, even though we have so many starters out, so many injuries this season. But it feels like a game we should win, so therefore I have expectations for us to win. And if we do lose, I will be crushed.
Well, I don't want to curse you, but I will tell you that the Browns have a lot of things going in their favor, particularly rookie quarterbacks in the playoffs, which the Browns are going up against a rookie quarterback, C.J. Stroud. As good as he's been this year, rookie quarterbacks typically don't have a lot of success in the playoffs. So, and meanwhile, you have you have a Super Bowl winning quarterback at the helm. Plus, the Texans are just about as injured as the Browns are. So, there's a couple of things that bode well in your favor. You're also favorites in the game. So, I mean, a lot of positives to look forward to.
Yeah, for the Browns, I mean, I'm not going to do a bunch of Browns talk today because, yet again, we should win the game. We can circle back to it on Tuesday when we come back, and then I can gloat if we do win or be extremely upset if we lose. But the only stat that the Cleveland Browns fans need to know today is C.J. Stroud, who has been fantastic this year.
Lights out.
But he has the biggest disparity of all QBs in pressured versus non-pressured throwing.
You got to get after him.
And if you don't think that he'll be pressured tomorrow, then you have not watched the Cleveland Browns all season. So we have like the number 2 pressure defense in the league. CJ under pressure is not very good. Yet again, biggest disparity in the league from quarterbacks. So if we can get in his face, we should be okay, Browns fans. We should be okay, but we'll come back on Tuesday and we can celebrate then.
Now, you and I, obviously, we both have rooting interest. You've got the Browns game against the Texans. I've got the Packers playing the Cowboys. Other than those two games, tell me one other playoff game that you have strong feelings about and you think is going to be exciting to watch.
The only other game, there's a couple other games that I'm really excited to watch. The Dolphins-Chiefs game obviously is on Peacock. That, I think, is the probably most exciting game for me outside of Browns-Texans because it's Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs who have struggled thus far this year more than they usually do versus a Dolphins team that last year was really exciting, didn't have Tua in the playoffs. This year, Tua's in the playoffs.
Yep.
Can they upset the Chiefs on the road in what is going to be one of the worst weather games of the weekend?
We get two of those because the Chiefs is going to be freezing cold, and then the Bills game on Sunday afternoon is supposed to be very cold and also very windy.
Well, they said another thing with the Bills-Steelers games, depending on what happens weather-wise, that game may be moved to Cleveland.
They couldn't do that, could they?
They just announced it yesterday that Cleveland's getting ready to possibly host if the weather is so bad.
That's great. Think about that. The Cleveland could be the better weather situation.
I know.
In January.
Isn't that pretty unbelievable?
Yeah.
So for me, a bunch of good games this weekend. It'll be exciting, but my eyes, if the Browns lose on Saturday, it won't matter what happens after that because I will circle back to how I feel after every Browns or Buckeyes loss to why do I devote so much time into this? I don't want to be a football fan anymore, but if they win, I will be at the highest of heights.
But think about all the fun you've had already. You're going to let one loss trump that?
No, if we lose on Saturday, it's going to be automatic. I don't care about this anymore. Why do I do this to myself every year? Heartbreak.
This is Radio U's Worst of the Riot.
Now, how long, Isaiah, do you have to get off of social media for it to be considered a hiatus? How long do you have to do anything for it to be a hiatus? Or I guess stop doing something?
Well, it just depends who you are and your frequency of posting. Like for me, I have to probably be off Instagram for a full year.
A year for that to be a hiatus?
No, give me 6 months because that's no posting on your story. That's no posting on your timeline versus, so for me on Instagram, it's 6 months. For me to be on a hiatus of like Facebook, my hiatus is currently going at probably 3 years.
Wow.
My hiatus on Twitter.
How long? When does it go from a hiatus to just you quit?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Have I quit Facebook? I don't know.
It's starting to sound like it.
I might have.
And I don't blame you. I'll tell you that. So wait, is there any circumstance where less than 24 hours counts as a hiatus?
No.
Because that is how long Selena Gomez's latest social media hiatus lasted.
Well, that's no hiatus at all.
It was, according to her, if you go back to, I guess it would be Wednesday, she announced that she was going on a social media hiatus as a response to the fallout from the viral video of her and Taylor Swift interacting at the Golden Globes. She claims they weren't talking about Timothée Chalamet and Kylie Jenner. I think what I heard was the rumor was that she wanted a picture with Timothée Chalamet.
Yep.
And Kylie said no. She says that's not what happened. Nevertheless, and then she was telling Taylor about it. Nevertheless, all of that hubbub led her to take a social media hiatus that she announced on Wednesday, which then came to an abrupt end yesterday afternoon when she posted to her Instagram stories.
And how many hours later was that after she announced? It's one thing to like do a social media hiatus and like keep that to yourself, but if you're gonna announce it, you gotta like stick to that. You gotta have a little bit of mental fortitude there. How many hours did she last?
According to TMZ, about 20 hours since the break.
20 hours is how long you can last?
Not even a full day.
So you can't announce like you can't make a whole thing of it.
Yeah.
You can't make a thing of it and then just not follow it at all. That's like if you made a huge announcement. We started the show today with like, hey, everybody, I'm starting a new diet. I'm going to the gym every day. And then we circle back on Monday and you're like, diet's over, no more gym. Then that's like really, Hudson, you really made a big thing of it on Friday.
Yeah.
To circle back and completely take back everything you said.
She could have easily had a hiatus, and even if it only lasted, still, I think it would have to go more than 20 hours.
Yeah.
But if she didn't announce it and then she came back, she could have said, I just took a little social media hiatus. And if people looked and it was like, well, she hasn't posted for 3 days, maybe.
Then that's,
But you announce it first, it doesn't really feel like you're sticking to your guns. You didn't really pull through on that one.
And then the person who broke you, you're Selena Gomez, the person that broke you was Gordon Ramsay. You're like, it's Gordon Ramsay.
Yeah.
I have to post this for the likes.
Does it count what if she didn't post it herself? She's got a crew of people.
Is it on her profile?
Yes.
Then, nope. You got to be, it's your own PR team. You got to be on the same page.
Her PR team should have stopped her from saying she was doing a hiatus.
Exactly. They should
if they knew they had a post scheduled for 20 hours later.
Oh, hi there.
This worst of the riot.
Crank that up.
Radio U.
The NFL playoffs starting tomorrow. Isaiah and I and so many others real jazzed, real excited for the games to be taking place. But maybe you're not one of those folks that is real into football. I've still got something that can make it fun for you. I have a gal here who devised a bingo card for her husband's behavior he's a Cowboys fan, during Cowboys games. And it's hilarious. So then like you make this bingo card of different stuff that your significant other probably would be doing that you know they're going to do during the game, and then see if you can make a bingo out of it. And you can come up with whatever prize you want.
This is epic.
It's amazing.
I saw this, and this is also a true test of their relationship because obviously she videos him doing the things. And we need to do more content like this where obviously we like to talk sports and stuff.
Yeah.
But how can you be the wife of a sports-crazed man and have fun during the game, right? And this is the way to do it.
Yeah.
And so she has her little bingo card of all of his, it's pretty much just his mannerisms.
Right.
Of during the game, like if they score a touchdown, like is he going to do some sort of jump skip thing that he always does?
Yeah.
Or if they throw an interception, what's he going to say? He has like some patented phrase every time they mess up that he says every time. And so this has me thinking, right?
Yeah.
Like, if you had a bingo card of things that could happen, that you could do during the game, like, what would be some of the things that your wife would put on there? I already know one for you that's an obvious one.
Yeah, the one that I definitely know that I do is if something goes bad, and it goes real bad. But I wouldn't do this every game. This is extreme, but it could happen in the playoffs, and that is throw my hat.
Throw my hat. I knew throw my hat was going to be on there.
But you can't. That's not that one you can't put as the star in the middle. That's not a free square, because that's not going to happen every game, especially when, you got the Packers, you got Jordan Love carrying you through.
A heartbreaking loss, though. Throw my hat is a done deal.
That's a free square. That is a free square and a heartbreaking loss. I usually will do some kind of jig when a touchdown is scored.
Yes.
So Irish jig is how I would describe it. My wife knows that I will do that, and the Packers are going to score.
Yeah.
So that's a given. Some of the ones I'm trying to drift off of the ones that are on this bingo card here. The first down gesture where you point your hand and you just extend your arm out. That might happen from time to time.
I do that every now and then.
Let's see. The knee slap. That's me for sure.
See, I don't knee slap.
I smack the knee. Come on. Come on is also another one. Just saying simply come on. Walking down the hall, angrily walking down the hall.
Yep.
Head down, eyes closed. That's a good one. I can picture NayNay doing that, right?
Oh, head down. Maybe hands in face. Will his hands touch his face?
Hands in the face. Yes. What else would be on yours?
I know for a fact that, especially during the playoff time, as a Browns fan, I've only got to experience the playoff once. But during that Steelers game that we won, I have a various of many things that I did. One of them would be high stepping after a touchdown.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, if it's the playoffs, if we score a touchdown, I'm high stepping. One of the phrases, as we know I say on the show, will he say hot dogging during the game? Will hot dogging come out? And let me tell you, if we're winning, hot dogging's going to come out. As well as if we're losing, hands to the face is an automatic one.
Yeah.
Or a what are we doing?
Yep.
What are we doing? Many a times as well.
One other one I know for me too, and this is probably, it's specific, but it's specific to me, but it's also everybody does this, and that is a big really overdone clap. Just really exaggerated clap, but that's probably the thing I do more than anything. And it probably drives everyone around me crazy. But yeah, the dramatic clap is me for sure.
And then my final one, if things are going astray, and this I think I've done in almost every single playoff big game lost, will I rest my head on someone in some certain way? Whenever, it's always the lost hope. When Ohio State threw the pick against Michigan, when Ohio State missed the field goal last year against Georgia, when Kansas City took down the Browns years ago. Will I rest my head on someone's chest, on a shoulder? Where will my head be resting if we lose?
That's an amazing gesture. I'm just picturing that. And so I think this gal and now us, by relaying it to you, even if you're not a football fan, if you know someone who is, this can make it entertaining for you this weekend.
If your husband or your wife is a huge sports fan, this weekend, if you have something that you know will be on their bingo card, please text it in 8772 Radio U.
Radio U's Worst of the Riot podcast.
NayNay just barged in here.
Hello, my friends. You know why I'm here today? I'm here to remind you of something quite important. We've got a lot of playoff games coming up on Sunday, and one in particular catches my eye. You know what that is, Hudson?
I know what it is.
I mean, you're wearing Green Bay Packers stuff right now. I came barging in with my Dak Prescott jersey.
I know.
The Dallas Cowboys at home against the Green Bay Packers in the Super Wildcard weekend. I'm excited for it. I can't wait to see the demolition that Dak will do.
This is why he's been locked out of the studio, so he can't come in here and spout nonsense like this during my show. I got a question for you.
Hit me with
Talking about this game. When it is over and Dak Prescott suffers another playoff failure, what will it take for you to stop defending him?
See, here's the thing, my friend. When there's something you love, when there's someone you love in life, you're going to defend them to the end of it. If he throws 3 picks in this game, I'm still going to be wearing this jersey come Monday, Tuesday, probably even the whole next week too, because I support my team even when they lose.
You can support your team, but I mean, everybody has a guy on their team that they'll just throw under the bus. And for the Cowboys, Isaiah, do you agree with this? Wouldn't it be Dak on the Cowboys at this point?
He could be one of them. There's many people on the Cowboys that I feel like are probably going to take blame if they do lose. Dak will be one of them. More than likely, another one, Mike McCarthy.
Oh,
yeah.
Mike McCarthy
he's the first one to go.
He's going to get the brunt of it. But here's the thing. Dak Prescott is should be the MVP front runner. So what are we talking about?
I agree with that, actually. I do agree with that.
Here's what I don't understand. How can you throw more touchdowns, have more yards, throw maybe 1 or 2 more interceptions, and still not be the front runner? Huh? You've only lost, one more game than Lamar Jackson? Never mind. We're talking about the Green Bay Packers. We're going to talk about the demolition derby. I've got 4 reasons for you, Hudson, why the Dallas Cowboys are going to win this game. Number 1, you ever heard about the Cowboys curse? People like to say there's a curse going on between the Packers and the Cowboys. They can never seem to get over the hump in the playoffs. What were 2 main factors of the Packers beating the Cowboys in all those playoff wins? Do you know? Number 1 was Mike McCarthy. Who's our head coach now, Aaron Rodgers? Just kidding. Your name's not Aaron Rodgers. But that leads me to my second point. Guess who's not on your team to play quarterback? That bad man himself, Aaron Rodgers. Isn't it so sad? You should probably get a new jersey. Now, here's reason number 2. I already kind of stated this ahead of time. Dak Prescott. And this is no stint on Jordan Love at all. But Dak Prescott has more passing touchdowns. Hello. When you have more passing touchdowns, you win games. Number 3, the Dallas Cowboys have not lost at home all season. I mean, do I need to keep going into this? And also, the Packers are playing with house money at this point. They probably weren't even expecting to make the playoffs. Dallas has something to prove here. Not even being able to win the championship game in 28 years. Not even being able to reach the Super Bowl since the 1995 season.
All of a sudden, you're kind of making my case for me here.
I don't understand. This is the year that I think something very special could be happening.
It is my show, so let me tell you why everything you just said is wrong. And the primary point is you mentioned Mike McCarthy like that's a positive.
Did he not win you a Super Bowl?
We could still have him if we wanted him.
Did you not win a Super Bowl with him?
Yeah, but you are missing the key point, which is Aaron Rodgers. And as much as I love Aaron Rodgers, I think even you would say the Packers, they jettisoned Aaron Rodgers, and now I think just about everybody in the league would say Jordan Love was better this year than Aaron Rodgers was.
Okay.
So we've actually made an improvement.
Jameis Winston was better than Jordan Love was this year. That's not a good argument.
Next. That's egregious. That's an egregious take. Jordan Love, you know what's crazy? Is that Dak Prescott, who you also mentioned as a positive, he's thrown more interceptions since Christmas than Jordan Love has thrown since Thanksgiving.
But let me interject.
Okay.
Dak Prescott's up for MVP this season.
Yeah, that's
so
right.
it's hard to do the Jordan Love versus Dak thing. But I would say Jordan Love has been playing good the second half of the season.
Good.
If he can carry it into the playoffs, that could be a positive.
Yeah,
but
it was a learning experience the first half of the year, but since Thanksgiving,
I wouldn't do
cooking.
Dak versus
He could
Jordan.
be the MVP since Christmas.
I wouldn't do Dak versus Love.
What about this then? Check this out. Isaiah, I know I told you this before. NayNay, you know this, right? That Dak Prescott has more interceptions in the playoffs than wins.
Well, you know what? I just got one question. Again, back to the point of how the Dallas Cowboys have not lost a single home game all season. How does the Green Bay Packers defense look right now? I know we've been talking a lot about Jordan Love, but let's flip the script. Let's go to the other side of the ball. What does their defense look like against other teams?
Well, I'll tell you this, that if we lose, if the Cowboys lose, I think you should blame Dak, not just Mike McCarthy. If the Packers lose, I already know who I'm blaming. It's the defense. It's Joe Barry, and he'll be out of town. But you know what? The great thing is that Jordan Love and the Packers offense is so good that they can overcome that, and they will. And the Packers are going to win.
Well, let's get a show stance here. Score predictions, please.
All right. No, NayNay, you go first.
Oh, you want me to go first?
Oh, it's my show. Me and Isaiah doesn't have a stance. So I will get to close it out.
Okay.
With the
All
correct answer.
So here's the final score for Sunday's game. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard me correct. The final score will be Dallas 37 to Green Bay 17.
Hudson, go ahead.
What's your choice? What's your pick?
I would probably pick Dallas like 31 to 21.
I will take Green Bay, and this is the correct answer. We'll win 34 to 27, and Dak will throw a pick 6.
Add a little riot to your Instagram feed. Follow @RadioU Official. The Riot. Radio U.
Some rumors are swirling. Tell me if this is too soon, Isaiah, about Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce possibly getting engaged.
That's pretty intense.
It's pretty, it might seem pretty fast. If you recall, if you aren't fully up to date, they started going out supposedly back in July is when the relationship blossomed. And
It's been 6 months. It's been a full 6 months.
6 whole months. And so rumors are swirling that there's already a date in mind for when they will get engaged, for when Travis will officially pop the question to Taylor Swift. And see, it's already been discussed, but they don't want to do it now. They didn't want to do it over the winter holidays. Valentine's Day is out because, this is a quote, they don't want it to seem like it's rushed insanity. And so instead, the thought is that Taylor and Travis will get engaged on their 1-year anniversary this July.
Well, that doesn't feel like rushed insanity.
That's 1 year. That's enough for most people. Do you think?
1 year.
They're not young, but I mean, what are they? They're around their 30s, like early 30s. So that's not too. When you know. 1 year. That's not. I say, why wait? When you know, you know. You know.
They're just like they don't even live in the same city.
They don't have to
know they're going to get engaged.
They, think about this. They both are so busy anyways that they don't need to live in the same city. They're going to spend the next several years of their lives going all over the place. They're not going to have a lot of time to just settle down anyways. So I don't think that matters too much.
So then you wonder, should they get engaged at all if they're not going to be hanging out that much?
Well, yeah, because you gotta lock each other down, make it official.
That just seems
They're
so
both
hasty.
I'm for it. I love. And so if Taylor and Travis, if this is going to make them happy, I say again, why wait? Why do they care? What do they care what everybody else thinks? Taylor Swift she's queen of the world right now.
Some other ones that did it in less than a year.
Yeah.
There's 3 other instances
Does it
where
only happen 3 times?
Celebrities have done this, so what you're rooting for is pretty crazy. Kim Kardashian and Chris Humphries. How did that end up? Let's do another one. Let's do another.
Yeah.
Britney Spears, Kevin Federline. How'd that end up?
These are volatile personalities you're talking about. Britney Spears, Kim Kardashian.
The final one, and the only success story, Justin Bieber and Hailey Baldwin.
There you go. You've got a 1 in 3 chance already, and once Taylor and Travis do it and just get it over with, it'll be a 50-50 shot after that.
It seems so quick. Seems a little bit too quick.
I don't want to judge it. I don't want to rush him myself.
They haven't even been in an off season. He's been in the middle of his football season the entire time they've been together.
They got together in July.
Yeah, is July not football season? Like, he's already at training camp, fully in football mode. They haven't even experienced an off season together yet, where they're actually going to be hanging out consistently. Which that's when you really figure out if you like somebody, when you hang out with them all the time.
When I hear you talking this way, you can find a million reasons to never settle down, but all you need is the one reason to say yes.
Wasn't that a great Riot clip? While you're here, you should watch more of our videos and subscribe so you don't miss what we do next.